What's going on, everybody? And today I'm going to be going over my top 30 favorite movies of all friggin' time. I did my top 10 movies of the 2010s, 2000s, 90s, 70s. I don't have one for 80s or 60s because I haven't really seen that many. But today is the day we're going to be going over my top 30 favorite movies of all time. I'm excited for this. After my video, drop down in the comments what your top films of all time are. Because I'd really like to know what your guys' top films of all time are. Without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in number 30 is going to be No Country for Old Men. This movie is phenomenal. The villain in this movie is phenomenal. The characters in this movie, the way there's no music, there's no score, adds the suspense to it. The performance by Javier Bardem is one of my favorite supporting actor performances of all time. Oscar well deserved. Coming at number 29 is going to be The Prestige. This is a Christopher Nolan movie, and it's one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies, and it truly is amazing. What they do in this movie is like phenomenal. The performances are absolutely amazing. Snubbed. This movie was snubbed. I don't think I got nominated for any Oscars. Snubbed heavily. Performances. The effects are actually pretty good. The twist. I did not expect the twist coming at all. I was like, I did not expect it at all. Such a phenomenal Christopher Nolan movie. Coming number 28 is going to be Memento. Another Christopher Nolan movie. Another one of my favorite of his work. And this movie is so smart. I can't really describe this movie, but it is a very, very clever movie, and the script is really good, and the performances are really good, and it's just a really good movie. Coming number 27 is going to be The Matrix. This, I think, is my favorite action movie of all time. Even though I think action might be my least favorite genre of movies, I still think this movie is amazing. The effects hold up so good. The characters are amazing. Neo is one of the most iconic characters of all time. It's amazing. Like, it's phenomenal. One of the best out there. Coming in number 26 is going to be Silver Linings Playbook. This movie, I could rewatch this movie over and over again. This movie is absolutely amazing. The performances in this movie are really good. Jennifer Lawrence, Oscar, well deserved. One of my favorite actress performances of all time. I think she's really good in this movie. And De Niro, he plays a different character, but he's also really good in this movie. And Bradley Cooper, I don't know who won the Oscar that year, but Bradley Cooper is really good in this movie. It's one of the best. It's one of the most well acted movies ever. It's so good. Coming in number 25 is going to be my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, which is The Dark Knight. This, I wouldn't count this as an action movie. I count this as a crime thriller drama. This movie is so good. In terms of best movies of all time, this is up there. I think it's amazing. Heath Ledger, I think he gives my favorite supporting actor performance of all time. He's so good in this movie. Oscar, well deserved. Like, that's probably one of the most well deserved Oscars of all time. He's amazing. But Christian Bale, this is also a really well acted movie, and the characters are really good, and the cast is really big, really good cast. And everybody knows how good The Dark Knight is. It's the freaking Dark Knight. Come on. Coming number 24 is probably the movie I recently watched for the first time. Black Swan. This movie is amazing. My God. I'm confused. I'm kind of confused still. Because it's a confusing movie, and it's trippy. So it's kind of a weird movie. It's like Mother. I think it's the same director as Mother, which I like Mother a lot too. But this movie is just it's a slower movie, but it's really friggin' amazing. Coming in 23 is gonna be Gone Girl. This is the first of 3 Fincher movies to appear on this list. This movie, I've seen this movie 4 times, and it gets better every time I watch it. I think Rosamund Pike should have won the Oscar, no doubt. Like, even though I haven't seen, um, what's his name? Julianne Moore, I think, for Still Alice. I haven't seen that movie yet, but she's so good in this movie. Like, she's a nut, but she's like amazing. Like, I kind of rooted for her, but it's an amazing movie. One of the best Fincher movies of all time. Coming number 22 is going to be Fight Club. This movie, everybody knows how good this movie is. This movie is so good. So it's spectacular. It's like performances. I think Brad Pitt should have gotten a nomination, but that's just me. Because he's probably one of my favorite movie characters of all time. He's such a great character. And the way this is put together, I think it's a really well made movie. It does have some problems, like not like pacing problems or anything, but it doesn't affect the movie for me. I rewatch this movie like every 2 months. It's Fight Club. Coming number 21 is gonna be Whiplash. I rewatched this movie like a week ago, and this movie is amazing. I always thought it was a little overrated, but I watched it again. It's amazing. J.K. Simmons is another. Oh my god, he's so good in this movie. Another Oscar well deserved. He is literally so good. And the music in this movie, like Caravan and Whiplash, like I listen to those on repeat. That's how good they are. And just the characters. I really enjoy the characters in this movie. And how mean he is to the kid is just it's funny. It kind of works as a comedy too, even though it's sad. It's just it's perfect. I think this movie is a perfect movie. Coming at number 20 is going to be Pulp Fiction. This is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. This used to be my favorite movie of all time, but it got pushed down way much since I last rewatched it. Even though it's still like amazing, it just there's a bunch of other crap ton of other movies I like way more than it. But everybody knows what good Pulp Fiction is. It's highly regarded as one of the best films of all time. According to IMDb, it's like top 10, which I think it's deserved. The script is probably the best written script of all time. It's such a good movie. Coming number 19 is going to be Spider-Man 2. This is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. Oh my god, Spider-Man 2 is so good. The visuals still hold up. The villain is a really good villain, and Spider-Man in this movie is really good. I think the first one's more enjoyable, but this one I think is better. I just love this movie to pieces. Coming in number 18 is going to be Titanic. Another movie I rewatch that I don't know if it's weird that I rewatch it because it's sad, but I do rewatch this film like every month. It's a really long movie, but it's really good. Every time I hear the song, my heart will go on. Every time I hear that, it makes me want to rewatch the movie. It's so good. Leo gives one of his best performances. Kate Winslet snubbed of the Oscar, in my opinion. Visuals still hold up. Best James Cameron movie of all time. I think this movie is phenomenal. It has problems, but it's still amazing. Coming number 17 is going to be Seven. The best feature film. I think it's highly regarded as the best feature film. It is amazing. My god, this film is amazing. The suspense this movie is. Kevin Spacey in this movie is amazing. It's so good. They were both snubbed of an Oscar or Oscar nomination. They were both amazing in this movie. Such a phenomenal movie. Coming number 16 is going to be 12 Angry Men. This movie this is probably one of the most well acted movies of all time. It's perfect. It's a perfect movie. I can't really talk about this movie because everybody knows how friggin' phenomenal this movie is. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Coming at number 15, which is another masterpiece, Schindler's List. This movie is so damn sad. I cried multiple times during this movie. I think Ralph, one of the Fiennes brothers, I think he should have won his Oscar. I think Liam Neeson should have won his Oscar. I'm glad I won Best Picture. Well deserved Best Picture win. It's long, but it's a masterpiece. It really is a perfect movie. Another perfect movie. Number 14 is going to be another Best Picture winner. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This movie, my golly gee, this movie is amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, I think it expires off of Netflix next month. This movie is phenomenal. Like, another perfect movie. Like, my God. This is probably the most well-acted movie of all time. Best Picture winner, one of my favorite Best Picture winners. I think this movie is... It has a sad bit at the end, but I think this movie is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Number 13, or coming at number 13, is going to be The Breakfast Club. Woo, this movie is really good. Another perfect movie, in my opinion. The characters, they're all pretty dang likable. Favorite movie of the 80s. I rewatch this movie on like a weekly basis. This movie is a masterpiece. Number 12 is maybe a surprise, but it's my favorite comic book movie of all time, which is Joker. Whew, this movie's amazing. Joaquin Phoenix gives one of the best performances of all time by a leading actor. He's amazing. I think it's his best performance, in my opinion. It's phenomenal. Best movie of 2019. Best movie of the last decade, in my opinion. It has issues, but I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Coming number 11 is going to be Hot Fuzz. This movie is hilarious, I swear. The end of this movie, you're just smiling from ear to ear the entire time. It's such a badass movie. It's so funny. Like, it is hilarious. I laugh my ass off the entire movie. It's so funny. Coming in number 10 is going to be The Incredibles. Best Pixar movie of all time. One of the best movies of all time. One of the best animated movies of all time. Not my favorite animated movie. But it truly is amazing. I think this movie is really clever on the way it deals with, like, marriage and family. I think it's really good. The characters are all likable. Mr. Incredible is my favorite Pixar character. Don't like the sequel as much, but it's still good. But this movie, oh my God, this movie's amazing. Coming at number 9, it's going to be my favorite animated movie of all time. Spirited Away. This movie gives me a feeling that I've never got from any other movie. It gives me a feeling of comfort. That's just, it's perfect. It's a perfect movie. I can't explain this movie in words, how amazing, phenomenal this movie is. It's so good. So good. Coming in number 8 is going to be Taxi Driver. This movie, not the best Scorsese movie, but this movie is, oh my God, this movie is phenomenal. It's so good. It is so good. Robert De Niro is amazing. I think it's his best performance. I think he is amazing in this movie. And it's so good. It's so good. It was robbed of Best Picture. It should have won Best Picture. Even though I do love Rocky, it should have won Best Picture. It should have won Best Picture. Coming number 7 is going to be the best Scorsese movie, Goodfellas. Woo! Everybody knows how good this movie is. Everybody knows. Joe Pesci is, he's amazing. Funny how. He's so good in this movie. I swear. So is Ray Liotta and Robert De Niro. The story is really good, too. And you care about the characters. And it's just, I rewatch this movie a lot. Very frequently as well. Coming number 6 is going to be Good Will Hunting. Woo! This movie is phenomenal. Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård. They're all amazing in this movie. Robin Williams, Oscar well-deserved. Another one of my favorite performances of all time. It was snubbed at Best Picture. Even though I do love Titanic, it was snubbed at Best Picture. Phenomenal screenplay. Oscar well-deserved there for Best Original Screenplay. Amazing screenplay. Like, amazing. Coming number 5 is going to be, this went down a couple spots, but The Shawshank Redemption. I have not seen this movie in about 2 months. So maybe I'll give it a watch tonight, but I don't know. This movie it's a perfect movie. Another really well acted movie. The characters, Morgan Freeman should have won the Oscar in my opinion. It should have won Best Picture in my opinion. It's phenomenal. It's so good. On IMDb, this is number one, and in terms of best, I kind of agree with that. It's one of the best movies of all time. Of all time. Coming number 4 is going to be The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. Woo! What a great Western. My favorite Western. I think this might be the only Western I've seen. But what a great movie. My God. The characters, I like every single character in this movie. Every single character gives a great performance. And the score by Ennio Mori, I don't know his last name, but it starts with an M. I think it's my favorite score of all time. I listen to the main theme of this movie on repeat. Like I think I listened to it about 200 times. It is amazing what he did with the score. And Sergio Leone, man, he's so good at directing. And how the scenes are like dragged out is really good. I really enjoy that. It's on Netflix. It's gonna expire in like maybe 2 days. So go watch it, please. Go watch it. Coming number 3 is gonna be American Beauty. I rewatched this film yesterday, and this movie is perfect. It's a perfect movie. It's a masterpiece. Kevin Spacey gives one of my favorite performances of all time. He is so damn good in this movie. I cannot get over how good he is in this movie. So is everybody else too, honestly. But the subjects they deal with aren't the best subjects to talk about. But I think this movie is very realistic. One of the most realistic movies I've seen. And it's amazing. It's perfect. Coming number 2 is going to be Braveheart. I think this brings up the most emotion in me in any movie ever. I think William Wallace was snubbed of an Oscar nomination. What a great movie. It's historical. It's historically inaccurate, but it's amazing. The battles are amazing. The end makes me cry. It makes me cry every single time I watch it. If you haven't seen this movie, it's amazing. It is phenomenal. Coming at number 1, you have not guessed it, is going to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The entire trilogy. If I had to pick one, though, it'd be Return of the King, but I'm afraid I cannot pick one. So it has to be the entire trilogy. What a phenomenal trilogy. It's a perfect trilogy. I give all these movies 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s. I think they're all amazing. The characters, the characters are absolutely amazing. Like, so good. I swear these movies are phenomenal. This whole trilogy. I watched this recently this year, and I've seen it about, 20 times. Like, all the movies I've seen 20 times. The Hobbit movies aren't as good, but they're still amazing. They are amazing. And that was my list of my top 30 movies of all time. I do have a few honorable mentions, so I'm going to list, 10 of those off. Bronson with Tom Hardy. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. One of the best action movies. The Wolf of Wall Street. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Lilo and Stitch. Spider-Man 2002. Boogie Nights. The Godfather. There Won't Be Kid, Roderick Rules. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. And Nightcrawler. All amazing movies. I wish they made my top 30, but they couldn't. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This is a longer video, but thank y'all for watching, and drop yours in the comments down below. And hope y'all have a phenomenal evening.